Welcome, I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. From our BizVision studios in the UK, you're watching the Dame Mabel Katz show on the BVT network. I'm going to get my hands slapped if I haven't got these pronunciations correct later on, but that's the beauty of being on a live show. As parents to 2 daughters and grandparents to 4 children, my wife Kim and myself often sit at mealtimes, or well, maybe that sneaky later afternoon glass of wine, and we wonder about our world and what we're leaving it to our children and our grandchildren. Our Conscious Business Academy and the channels that we have also constantly prompt our thinking, sometimes with concern. Lately, we've seen a glimmer of hope as people start to embrace consciousness and become aware of their 3P responsibility to planet and people. But of course, this often means less of the 3rd P, profits. If only people around the world could see that peace means prosperity. Today, my special web show is about achieving that powerful word, peace. And my special guest is Dame Mabel Katz. Welcome.
Thank you, Malcolm. It's so great to be here with you.
It is delightful.
Yes.
Where are you today?
I am in Cancun, Mexico today. And my home is in Los Angeles. I was born in Argentina, but my home has been in Los Angeles for the last 37 years.
Wow. You must have some terrific air miles, the amount of travel you do. Yes. This Mabel Katz show is in our usual BVTV web show 3 parts. In part 3, she will give you her top tips on applying her thinking to your life, making the change. In part 2, she'll explain her thinking behind zero frequency and the intriguing, and I cannot get myself around this word. Please tell me. Oponopono.
Yeah, the word is oponopono. It's a very ancient Hawaiian art of problem solving that really changed my life. And I felt once I found it, I said, this is not for me only. Yes, this is to share.
Yeah, well I'm going to put that across. I'll ticker tape it across the bottom of our recorder then. But before change can happen, we need to know the starting point. And so in part 1, my guest will tell you about the world as she sees it. But before we get to part 1, go on, Mabel, give us a brief overview of who you are, the work you do, and why you do it.
Okay, wonderful. So I was born in Argentina, as I said before. I have 2 university degrees there, CPA and license in business administration. I was a very successful accountant, both in Argentina and in the United States, where I became a tax specialist. And I was happy with my profession. You know, I felt that part of my life worked. I was already working part-time, making good money. What else could you ask? I was helping. You know, my clients were very grateful because a lot of people are very afraid of government numbers and things like that. So I felt I was doing something, you know, making a difference in people's lives too. But my life changed one day when my son talked to me the way I used to talk to him, angry and frustrated. And I woke up. And I realized that I had everything that somebody thinks it needs to be happy, but I wasn't. So I said, Mabel, you have to do something. I didn't want that in my son, you know, it's like he got it from me, yes. I was the role model. And I started my search, Malcolm. I said, you know, again, I'm looking for happiness in the wrong places. So I found out about spirituality, just came into my life. I made that decision to make a change in my life, and the universe took care of showing me a different way.
Yeah, thanks, Mabel. I'm sure every viewer and listener is going to not only enjoy, but gain from you being my guest today. I know I will. So let's get to part 1 and the world today as Mabel sees it, and why we need to take action as both individuals and collectively.
Well, because if we don't do it for us, like you said, we have to do it for the next generation. I think we owe them, yes, because of what we created, yes. So we can still fix it, I think. We can make it better. And the universe is, or God, or whatever you want to call it, is giving us another chance, a very important chance right now. So it is, Ho'oponopono talks about 100% responsibility. That is no guilt. Is no, we are not sinners. We are not bad people, but we are responsible again for what we created. So we are the only ones that can change it. We all have free choice, and we are choosing moment by moment. Many times at the subconscious level. That's why it's hard to take 100% responsibility. Yes, I said no. It's my neighbor. No, it's the government. It's somebody. It's always somebody else. But see, things don't change. Yes. So if you want to change, if you want changes outside, you have to change. Yes. When you change, everything changes. And so that for me, that realizing the 100% responsibility set me free. Yes, I was always depending on people, trying to change people, trying to make my point, go, having the last word and making my point of view, and everybody had to see it the way I saw it, But again, and even if I was successful at doing it, I was not happy. That is the emptiness that we all feel inside. And that reflects, I always said, happy parents raise happy kids. And we have to raise happy kids, not professionals anymore. Like we don't know, my son has to be a doctor or a lawyer or thing. We are all unhappy lawyers and accountants and doctors because we did it to please somebody, we didn't follow our hearts. And I think this is the time to connect with our hearts. And it's not like La La Land, or something like that. It's that we were totally disconnected. And that's why we are having the problems that we are having now.
I like that. Follow your heart. Yeah, I did it myself, really. I should have stayed stable and I could have plodded on and by now be retired as, assistant bank manager. But why? You've got to follow your heart, as you say. And you do that emotionally as well, by the way, don't you? You do that emotionally.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about it. My son's mother-in-law, one day we were all having dinner and she says, Mabel, you never thought of staying home again and just preparing taxes? And actually, my response to her, very honestly, I said, sometimes it passes my mind what it would be to have a normal life again, yes, and stay home. And my son, the one that woke me up, okay, she said, he heard that, and he says, Mom, you cannot leave this. There is no way you can leave what you're doing now. And I said, I know, I was just saying that sometimes it passes my mind, to go back to a normal life.
Yes, I know. I've had to change, before COVID, I was traveling 20,000 miles a year doing presentations and so on. And since March, I've been nowhere, but I've actually been all around the world meeting people like yourself, 250 plus leaders there. But I needed to do that. Otherwise, I couldn't have managed the change.
I know. But what I say right now, I feel that we were planting seeds, it's like we were preparing for this moment. Because I see it with my followers, I also am out there also supporting. I'm working more than before the pandemic.
Yes, yeah, me too.
Non-stop. Before it was okay, well, the traveling, but I was doing the seminars and that's it, yes? Yeah. Now it's lives and now with this and the virtuals and supporting people. So, but I see it on the people when people tell you, I'm going through whatever, but it's much easier, and I'm not afraid. That's the most important thing right now, that people don't buy into the fear. That's what makes it worse.
Yeah.
And that's the idea, yes, the fear. Fear is worse than the virus.
Yes. Thanks, Mabel. Now, I especially like your powerful strapline on your website, and the URL to it is on the screen behind me, where you state, when you change, everything changes. So in part 2, let's get into the meat of your assisting in that change. Tell us about zero frequency and also about your work in the intriguing word that's passing across the screen at the moment, at the bottom, open.
Yes, sure.
Carry on.
Okay, so I'll tell you, I did a lot of different things when I started my search, for happiness and peace. And what I noticed is there was a lot of drama, because it was all about blaming somebody, realizing who you could blame. Yes, what happened. So I thought there has to be an easier and faster way. And actually, like I mentioned to you before, Ho'oponopono just show up in my life because I was ready, because I was searching. Again, the universe is always observing and bringing you to the screen, whatever is your thinking, what you're looking for. I mean, because again, you have free choice. So Ho'oponopono showed up in my life. I didn't realize the first time, the first seminar I took, that was what I was looking for, or that was my mission. But I took it many times because there was a part of me that knew better. Yes, I would sit there. I knew that every time I heard that information, I was going a little bit deeper. My understanding was getting a little bit clearer. I noticed things moving. So Ho'oponopono taught me that I am 100% responsible, that everything is just the monitor. Yes, so if I want to change anything that is in the monitor, I have to work on my programs. Yes, the ones that are downloaded. Beliefs, opinions, judgment, etc., etc. So the idea is that Ho'oponopono is like the delete key in your computer, and you always have two choices. Yeah, talking to the monitor, trying the monitor to change, but no, nothing happens, or pressing the delete key. So we have to decide if we press it or not, if we let go or not, if we choose to be happy instead of right. Yes. So once you press the delete key, the computer knows. You don't need to know programming. Yes. You just need to remember where to press that key. And we do it through mentally repeating thank you or I love you. My special tool that a lot of my students use is I let go and trust. In scary times or something, I let go and trust. Because Malcolm, everything is how to come back to present, how to come back to your center. Yes, because everything is taking you either to the future to worry about the future, or a memory that is playing and reminds you of something at the subconscious level. And you get into the emotion roller coaster. Yes. So, so the idea is how you can live more present, how you could be really the spectator, yes, the observer, because that's who we really are. We are not this body. We are here temporarily. This is a school, and we are all learning, and hopefully we are going to graduate this time, maybe. So realizing all that, yes, it changed completely my life. And because I let go and trust, I allow the universe to take me, yes, instead of me doing the driving because I know. I actually realized I didn't know anything, even though I had 2 university titles, and maybe I am a little bit smart. But the day that I said, I think I don't know as much as I thought, and I became a challenging, my life completely changed. So why would I be, I feel fear, yes, because if I know that I'm protected and I'm guided, why would I would be fear if, I don't have to do it alone. Yes, so realizing all those things gave me a lot of peace and a lot of happiness. And it's not that I don't have problems or that I don't have expectations or desires anymore, but I'm not attached to them. Or for example, I still love material things. There is nothing wrong with money or material things. The thing is, I used to put them first. I thought that those things would make me happy. And then I would have a lot of things and I was not happy. Yes. Yeah. So now maybe I am happier with less. And still the universe is very generous. Sometimes I said, God, you're too good. Yes. Because again, I don't ask, and I allow because I trust. I basically trust and I go with the flow.
So tell people, please, then what zero frequency is about.
Yes. So zero frequency is something that I created, Malcolm, because I'm still an intellectual person. I come from the business world, I'm very grounded person. So even though that I became spiritual, then I had to find that middle path. Yes, the Buddha talked about and everything. It's always extremes are never good. Whatever you are talking about, extremes are not good. So you always have to find that middle. So I kind of put spirituality and making money, together and living here on earth and how things work here and everything. but from, again, a spiritual point of view. So I always presented for 10 years now. I've been doing Ho'oponopono for more than 10. But 10 years ago, I created zero frequency. Why? Because Ho'oponopono is kind of theoretical, it's kind of esoteric, yeah? And some people, the intellect always disregard anything that is simple or easy, because you cannot understand it. So I created zero frequency to make the Ho'oponopono more practical, give you stories, give you examples, give you practical ways that you can identify. And I said, oh, I can do that. Or, again, for me, the most important is to wake up people. I'm not here to convince them about Ho'oponopono because I understand Ho'oponopono works for everybody, it's not for everybody. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, wake up, do something, realize it's up to you, that you don't depend on anybody or anything outside of yourself. Those are the things that changed my life. Letting go of what other people thought of me. That is a terrible way, to please people, to put people first. I mean, that doesn't work for anybody.
Yes. I want to encourage people, as I say, to go to your URL and get this book. I've kindly got it from your team there. Now, normally what I do is I skim read through before I do an interview, but in your case, I'm just taking it very, very slowly, because I think that zero frequency will be good for me, especially at this particular challenging and uncertain time. Let's move to part 3. Some powerful thinking and techniques we just had from you, but they're no good unless they are diligently applied. In this uncertain world, with so many other things tugging at us and you, how can that be achieved, Mabel? How to do it and remain consistent, and how to see and measure results? I know we all vote for change, but few of us then do it.
So again, it's about being the observer. Just have in mind that everything is just the movie, that is projecting, the projector is in you. So if you don't like the movie, you can change the end, yes? Because everything in your life is perfect. Everything that comes, because the universe is perfect. The thing is your reaction to the problem. So the only thing you can manage is your reaction to the problem. It's not the circumstance, it's not what is done to you, what it was said to you, or anything. It's your reaction to what happened, yes? So Ho'oponopono works on the reaction. It doesn't work on the problem. So we don't do it. So this is going to happen, that I will have so much money in the bank, that my partner will come back, that I will get a job. No, how to be at peace, even if it doesn't come back, even if I don't have the money, or anything. Again, because you do not depend on anything or anybody outside yourself to be happy. So you have to realize that. So how do we do it in Ho'oponopono? Ho'oponopono became famous because of 4 phrases. Yes, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. But actually, my teacher, Dr. Ihaliakala, he got the thank you and the I love you to replace what is really Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is about 100% responsibility. I'm sorry for whatever is in me that created this. Again, not because I'm a sinner, but there are programs in my subconscious mind that are attracting, creating, and things. That is the part of me that manifests. And Ho'oponopono works on the subconscious mind. So it's not us, it's not you intellectually, because the intellect doesn't know. It's you giving permission to a more intelligent mind than yours. Yes, I personally call it God. I was not a believer before. I was very square, I was very much in a box myself. I was very perfectionist, and I didn't believe in anything I couldn't see or touch. But starting considering that because I couldn't see it or I couldn't hear it, maybe they exist anyway, that changed my life. It changed my whole environment. It changed the way I perceive things. I still engage, I still blame, I still have opinions and judgment, but I'm conscious about it. Yes, I do it consciously. And I come back to present as soon as I can. Yes, I know. I try not to engage, because what we need to realize is that we all have these conversations, yes, and we all create these stories, yes, and we buy them, yes. So how do you stop? I don't know if you heard of Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. I love her book. It's called My Stroke of Insight. She's a brain specialist. She had a stroke in the left hemisphere to the point that she needed rehabilitation, yes, of everything. She had to learn everything again, okay? But she remembers everything. She writes this book. And you know what she tells the left brain now? He says, when he wants to start with the stories, he says, thank you, but I'm busy now. Yes? So you have to change your own conversations, your own perception. You have to realize not everybody sees the same way you see, because we see through glasses. So letting go of being right, accepting other point of views, realizing you are not alone, and that you have like another antenna. Bruce Lipton calls it, he said we walk with two antennas, and one is the antenna of inspiration, your connection to the universe, to connection to all your answers and the solutions to all your problems. The only thing is, are you gonna let go and allow it or not? Or you're gonna keep thinking that you know? The worst thing we can do when we have a problem is thinking. The worst thing is worrying. That takes you completely off present. You are alone, no miracles, yes? But if you are willing to let go, so ways of letting go, yes? So you can repeat the 4 phrases, yes? The famous, the ones that maybe some of your audience already know and been practicing. You can just say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, kind of like a parrot, And you don't need, very important, you don't need to feel it or mean it. You're just pressing the delete key, so you don't have to be happy to press the delete key. The other thing is, very important to breathe in that moment, because you have to realize when you have a problem, the first thing you do, you stop breathing, and that is kind of moving energy. You actually have to relax when you have a problem, yes? Go for a walk, sing, whatever, yes? But again, you can do thank you as a parrot, yeah? You can use Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, thank you, but I'm busy, yes? Whatever helps you to stop the stories, and connect you with another part of you that has all the solutions to your problem.
You are so inspiring, and I do like your thinking, and I think it's so appropriate at this moment in time. And whilst we're all regretting and worrying about the pandemic, maybe it's doing us a little bit of a service to just take time back and to think. So I trust my viewers now want to follow through, and that they'll visit your website soon. Thank you for being...
I would like to also offer the zerofrequency.com page. And they can go directly to more information for the book and the Zero Frequency itself.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for being my guest on this special Dame Mabel Katz BBTV web show. And please, all viewers, tell all your friends and colleagues to come and watch this show, and perhaps together we can help make that change.